So the next thing you're gonna wanna do to impress your crush is, I need to calm down. You're gonna wanna show some pay. What I mean by that is problem solving. You want to show your crush you can handle anything, all right? No matter how big a problem is, no matter how small it is. And I was like, well, I gotta show Marge, I'm a big dog, I can tackle tough stuff. And I figured the only way that I can do that is solve something no one has ever solved before. So I set out to solve the biggest problem that's ever plagued me. Probably plagued a lot of people in this room. Tonight, we're finally getting rid of the problem known as racism. Now, I know some of you might be a fan of this thing, but we're saying goodbye to it tonight, all right? Get the out of here. We're saying farewell to racism, all right? Let's blow the up, all right? Grenade, pin, throwing it, kaboom! I forgot we changed it to a gun. All right, we're gonna say goodbye to racism forever. And hello, something I call racism 2! Tonight, before your very eyes, I'm gonna innovate hate. Because I've been working with some of the brightest minds in Silicon Valley to create something you're gonna love. This is racism 2, everybody. I know exactly what you're thinking. Demi, what on God's green earth is racism 2? Well, let me tell you, all right? Racism 2 is brand new stereotypes. Out with the old, in with the new. That's how you fix a broken system. I sense a lot of tension in the room. I understand it's hard to let go of something you love, but we're all gonna, together, just whoosh it away, all right? I want you to keep your eyes open, your souls open, your hearts open, and your minds open when I introduce some of these stereotypes, all right? Let's start with a brand new one that I've invented about Latino women. Latino women are 6'2". No taller, no shorter. Every single one of them. Let's test this out, all right? Hi there, what's your name?
Allison.
Allison, do me a favor. Can you tell me how tall you believe Jennifer Lopez is?
5'7".
5'7"? Let's get a check on that. Jennifer Lopez is, 6'2". Hi there, what's your name?
Danielle.
Danielle, do me a favor. Can you tell me how tall you believe Shakira is?
5'9".
5'9". Let's get a check on that. Shakira is, 6'2". Sorry. Hi there, what's your name?
Jason.
Jason, do me a favor. Can you tell me how tall you believe Anita Wandez is?
I guess about 6'2".
Gotta be 6'2", right? Right? Probably would be if Anita Wandez was a real person. Anita Wandez is not a real person, everyone. Anita Wandez is not even a real name. Anita Wandez is a lyric that I misheard from this Drake song. I need a Wandez. I just want to confirm real quick. We don't have to pay every time we use that song, right? Okay, great. I need a Wandez. All right, I want to move on to talking about a real Latino woman. Hi there, what's your name?
Jenna.
Jenna, can you do me a favor? Tell me how tall you believe Ariana Grande is. What'd you say? Ariana Grande? Yeah. Is she not Latina? This is the thing everyone knows. We're certain? She's not Latina? Correct. Thinking Ariana Grande's Latina. It's racism 1.0. We don't do that anymore, okay? It's a mistake you can make, I don't know, maybe like the very first time you did this show. But you figure it out, and the audience yells at you a lot, and you move on, okay? She's Italian, someone said? You're sure? Yes. Great. Brings me to a stereotype about Italian women. Italian women. 6'3". No taller, no shorter. Every single one of them. Let's test this theory out, all right? Hi there, what's your name?
MG.
MG, do me a favor. Can you tell me how tall you believe Lady Gaga is? But before you answer, I'd like to point out she was famously in a documentary about her own life, and it is called 5'2". But I'll also point out that she is famously Italiano.
6'3".
Well, that can't be true, MG. We see right the... Wait a minute. Refresh the page, Allison. Ah! Egg on my face. Time to examine my biases. Hi there, what's your name?
My name is Mace.
Mace, do me a favor. Can you tell me how tall you believe Ashley Modest is? Now, before you answer, I'll point out that in her mugshot, she's shown to be just a smidge over 4 feet tall. But I also point out that she is famously Italiano.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say 6'3".
Gotta be 6'3", right? Probably would be 6'3" if Ashley Modest was a real person. Aston Dimatos is not a real person. Aston Dimatos is not even a real name. Aston Dimatos is a lyric that I misheard from this Kanye song.
Aston the models.
And I'm confirming, no paper usage, right?
I need a one dance.
All right. Let's leave our Italian ex-queens alone. I'd like to move on to a new stereotype that I've invented about black women. Yeah, it's always when the room gets very quiet. Black women love the 2001 film Rush Hour 2, but don't care much for the original or its sequel. Weirdly specific, right? Feels like something I've got to prove, and I understand that. So what I did to set out to prove this is I reached out to my mother, black woman, and I asked her, Mom, do you like the Rush Hour movies? And she said, oh yes, I love them. You know Chris Tucker is my favorite actor. I don't think I ever saw the third one, though. Lol. Did you call the passport office about getting your passport mailed to you? Now, of course, I had to respond to figure out very specifically, if she likes them so much, why didn't she see the third one? Just forgot about it. Didn't even care. Did you call the passport office about getting your passport mailed to you? Now, I wanted to confirm this one, so I reached out to a second black woman, my sister, and I asked her, Timmy, do you like the Rush Hour movies? Pause real quick. Yeah, her name is Timmy, my name is Demi. They rhyme, and I've had 32 years to get used to it, you're gonna get 10 seconds. All right. She responds, I know Mom likes them, but I only ever saw the second one. Mom wants me to remind you to call the passport office about your passport. Now, again, I had to ask a clarifying question, because it's not about seeing it, it's about liking it. So I asked her, did you like the second one? And she said, get this, yeah, I think so. Did you call them about your passport? Brings me to a stereotype about black men. We cannot travel internationally. I'm looking in the crowd, you know what I'm seeing? A lot of white couples. And I think that's great. I think white people deserve to laugh too. But I also know what you're thinking, all right? Little Devil's done it. He solved racism. I love this new stuff. And you know what? I hope we're included this time. Because I'm in a white couple and I want a stereotype. Come on, give me a stereotype. Please, come on, give me a stereotype. Okay, calm down, white couples. Just for tonight, I got one for you, all right? White couples love to stop and hash out minor disagreements right in front of the entrance to a building, effectively blocking a debate from getting into said building. If you're in a white couple, you know this is true. It happens anywhere that white people go, you know, Target, Utah. I think it even happens right here at the Colony Theater in Burbank. In fact, it did happen here today, earlier, at the Colony Theater in Burbank. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up with one last stereotype about Samoan men. Samoan men are afraid of me. Are y'all clapping because you're like, that's true, or what? I don't know why this is the case, but it is true and it makes me sad. And I can prove this one is real. What I did to prove it is I tweeted Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson 7 times across the last couple of years with a simple request that he needs to fight me. Now, The Rock's a pretty big guy. He can take me. But you know how many of these he responded to? 0. What conclusion can you draw? I'll tell you what I drew. I think The Rock is fucking afraid of the pebble. I think it's goddamn embarrassing, if I'm being honest. But that is Racism 2. Okay, hi, sorry, what's your name? What's your name?
Mark.
Okay, I need you to do me a favor. So we got a lot of investors on this, but to make this real, we sort of needed a lot more investors, so I invited a bunch of people from different tech companies tonight. Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, something I never heard of called Jerkmate, I think. I invited them here because I was like, well, we need to make this real, and everyone's kind of scared because race is so tricky. So if you could help me out, I could really use your support. What I'm gonna do is be like, my presentation's done. What do you feel about racism now? And I need you to just emphatically as you can be like, well, now I love racism. Now that my presentation on racism is done, I gotta ask a random person in the audience, I gotta know, what's your name?
Mark.
Hello, sir. Now that you've heard my presentation, how do you feel about racism?
I love racism.
Thank you so much. Everyone give Mark a hand, yes. Mark, I really appreciate that. And to show my appreciation for you, I want to announce that Mark is now officially the brand new face of racism! Remember that famous Mark quote, everybody? Thank you so much for not even hesitating a little to say that. I do need you to stick around after the show. You have to sign some forms so you get paid by Jerkmate.